know one family that starved to death at home. No one came in or out for 3 days. Water was brought around and we knocked on their door telling them to get some. Nobody answered. There are lots of beggars now. If they're lying down, we check them and usually find they're dead. There are others who kill themselves at home or disappear into the mountains. I never used to hear of this happening.
For months, the agency has been communicating in secret with 3 North Koreans living in the country they expose for the first time. The disaster unfolding there since the government sealed the borders more than 3 years ago. Starvation, brutal crackdowns, and no chance to escape. We have changed their names to protect them. First person is Myong Suk.
I wake up at 5 a.m. and make breakfast for my family. Then I go and prepare my business at the market where I sell medicine. Before COVID, life was stable. I didn't smuggle every day, but my business made quite a profit. But since COVID, my earnings have halved. It's become much harder to smuggle things over the border, and the crackdowns have become stricter. I tried to smuggle, but I got caught. I had to bribe an official with money I didn't have, and barely got away with it. After that, I was monitored, and I couldn't do anything. Most of the products in the market came from China, but it's empty now. You could always find grain, but not these days. The scarcest thing is medicine. Even if you can find it, it's too expensive.
Myong Suk is hunched over her phone, desperately trying to make another sale. A shrewd businesswoman, she is secretly selling minuscule amounts of smuggled medicine to those who desperately need it just enough, so she can survive the day. She has already been caught once and could barely afford the bribe. To stay out of prison, she cannot afford to be caught again, but at any moment there could be a knock on the door. It is not just the police she fears, it's her neighbours. There is now almost no one she can trust. This is not how it used to be. Myong Suk's medicine business used to be thriving, but on January 27, 2020, North Korea slammed shut its border in response to the pandemic, stopping not just people but food and goods from entering the country. Its citizens, who were already banned from leaving, have been confined to their towns. Aid workers and diplomats have packed up and left. Guards are under order to shoot anyone even approaching the border. The world's most isolated country has become an information black hole. Under the tyrannical rule of Kim Jong-un, North Koreans are forbidden from making contact with the outside world. With the help of the organization Daily NK, which operates a network of sources inside the country, the agency has been able to communicate with 3 ordinary people. They are eager to tell the world about the catastrophic toll the border closure has taken on their lives. They understand if the government discovers they are talking to us, they would likely be killed. To protect them, we can only reveal some of what they have told us. Yet their experiences offer an exclusive snapshot of the situation unfolding inside North Korea. Our food situation has never been this bad, Myong Suk tells the agency. Second person is Chon Ho.
I work on construction projects. Often we have to work late into the night, and I sleep at the site. I wouldn't be able to survive if my wife didn't work at the market. When they closed the border, everything became scarce. The price of grain, sugar, and seasoning has shot up. Food supplies are so low, people have started dying.
In a town elsewhere on the border, Chon Ho, a headstrong construction worker, is having a frustrating morning. I want people to know that I am regretting being born in this country, he vents. He is up early again to help his wife set up for the market. Before heading to the construction site, he dutifully carries her products and loads them onto her stall, fully aware that her business is the only reason he is still alive. The 4,001 he makes a day The equivalent of $4 is no longer enough to buy 1 kilo of rice, and it has been so long since his family received government food rations he has forgotten about them. The markets, where most North Koreans buy their food, are now almost empty, he says, and the price of rice, corn and seasonings has soared because North Korea does not produce enough food to feed its people. It relies on imports in sealing the border. The government cut off vital supplies of food along with the fertilizer and machinery needed to grow crops. At first Chon Ho was afraid he might die from COVID, but as time went on he began to worry about starving to death, especially as he watched those around him die. Third person is Jae-yan.
I know one family that starved to death at home. No one came in or out for 3 days. Water was brought around and we knocked on their door telling them to get some.
Hundreds of miles away in the relative affluence of the capital Pyongyang, where tower blocks line the city's river, Ji-yeon rides the subway. To work she is exhausted. After a similarly sleepless night she has 2 children and her husband to support with the pennies she makes working in a food shop. She used to sneak fruit and vegetables out of the shop to sell at the market alongside cigarettes her husband received in bribes from his co-workers. She would buy rice with the money. Now her bags are thoroughly searched when she leaves, and her husband's bribes have stopped coming. No one can afford to give anything away. They've made it impossible to have a side hustle, she frets. Ji-yeon now goes about her day pretending she has eaten 3 meals, when in truth she has eaten 1. Hunger she can endure. It is better than having people know she is poor. She is haunted by the weak. She was forced to eat poljuk, a mash of vegetables, plants and grass, ground into a porridge-like paste. The meal is synonymous with the very bleakest time in North Korea's history, the devastating famine that ravaged the country in the 1990s, killing as many as 3 million people. We survive by thinking 10 days ahead, then another 10. Thinking that if my husband and I starve, at least we will feed our kids. Ji-yeon says recently she went 2 days without food. So guys, hopefully you have liked this informative video, and if you liked this video, subscribe our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon for latest updates.